Okay, so have you ever had one of those moments where your life just stops making any sense, where the path you thought you were on just kind of vanishes? Well, today we're going to break down a really interesting idea from our source material called divine realignment, and it's all about finding a new way to understand those moments of total chaos.
Right? It's a feeling I think we all get. You've got your 5-year plan, your goals, your to-do lists, and then bam, out of nowhere, it all just goes sideways. Our source material really starts by digging into this exact feeling, the feeling of being completely and totally derailed, and what that might actually mean. And it's a scary feeling, isn't it? It's like you're behind the wheel of a car, and the steering wheel just crumbles in your hands. That's the core problem our source material is tackling, that exact moment of gut-wrenching powerlessness when you realize your plans, and even your backup plans, are totally useless.
So this is where the source material completely flips the script. It introduces this idea called divine realignment. And basically, instead of looking at this loss of control as a crisis, it reframes it as a purposeful redirection. The big idea here is that this isn't just random bad luck, it's a deliberate course correction from, a higher power. This slide lays it out perfectly. The source material presents these two different ways of navigating life. On one side, you have your steering, that's all about control, rigid timelines, and having a backup plan for your backup plan. Then, on the other side, you have divine direction, a path that's all about trust, surrender, and faith. And the source makes it pretty clear. You kind of have to pick a lane. You can't really be on both of these paths at once.
Okay, so that's the big question, right? If this is all happening on purpose, what's the point? Why would your control be taken away from you? It seems counterintuitive, but our source material has a pretty fascinating answer for that.
And here it is. The source lays out this 3-step process. First, your control is removed. That creates this vacuum, this empty space. And that's what leads to step 2. Trust is now required. You have no other choice but to trust. It's only after you lean into that trust that step 3 happens. A new, better direction is finally revealed. It's a pretty powerful sequence when you think about it.
And this verse right here, this is the absolute cornerstone of the source's entire argument. It's Proverbs 16:9. The whole idea is that we can plan all we want. And we do, but ultimately our actual steps are guided by a higher power. This verse is the foundation that the entire concept of divine realignment is built on.
Now, this is a really crucial distinction. In the world that our source material is describing, surrender isn't about giving up or failing. Not at all. It's about letting go. It's about making a conscious choice to hand over the navigation to something you believe knows the way better than you do. It's just a change in who's holding the map. And the source material doesn't just leave you with a theory. It actually ends with a direct challenge. It prompts its audience to first acknowledge that this process is happening in their own life, and then second, to make a public declaration of surrender. It's a pretty powerful call to action that invites people to really engage with this idea head-on.
So, what does this all mean for us? Whether you see this as a deep spiritual journey, or maybe just a different way to think about life's uncertainties, the question is still there. What does it truly mean to let go of the wheel? What could actually happen if we stopped trying to control every little thing and instead just learn to trust the journey?